Hello and welcome back, everybody. Now, the Arkham games have never shied away from being pretty dark and messed up all around, but in my opinion, one of the most messed up things we see in the entirety of the series is Protocol 10, and us flying through Arkham City, listening and seeing a mass genocide occurring right in front of us. The helicopters bombing inmates, hearing them say they eradicated the area, it's all pretty bone-chilling to say the least. But at the end of the day, Bruce pulled through like always and saved the day. But what if he didn't? What if Batman failed to stop Protocol 10 in Batman Arkham City? And what would it look like? And what would even happen to the other villains in Gotham City? Would we have to see Hugo Strange wearing his Batsuit again? God, I hope not. But anyways, before we get into it, I would really appreciate if you wouldn't mind subbing to the channel. It really does help out. And of course, join the Discord below. But let's get that yapping out of the way. Let's get into it. So, a little refresher. Protocol 10 was a plan to wipe out the criminal element in Arkham City, along with anyone else that could pose a threat to them by revealing the secrets about the prison, which little Hugo did not want. I wonder why. But anyways, this was done by mass bombing the prison with the help of Tiger guards. All this being orchestrated by Hugo Strange and Ras Al Ghul. This was Hugo's big test by Ra's to see if he was strong enough to be Ra's heir, which we come to find, Ra's just used Hugo to devise all of this, with Ra's literally backstabbing Hugo by the end of the game.
I felt betrayed.
And you think they're trying to get rid of you?
Honestly, I shouldn't say that, I don't know, but...
Normally though, Batman ends up stopping Protocol 10 and Hugo Strange, with Ra's ending it all, but, I mean, it's Ra's, come on. This man never dies. So, this is how I think Bruce would fail. Batman could fail really at any point leading up to his final encounter with Hugo and Ra's. He could quit the job after throwing a Tiger Guard off a Wonder Tower, get knocked unconscious by Hugo's nasty hands, or a plethora of other options. But let's just say for the sake of the video, Bruce is able to make it all the way to the very tippity top of Wonder Tower, where he confronts Hugo. Now, if Hugo was smarter, he could have some elaborate trap waiting for him, but more realistically, whilst Hugo is speaking to Bruce, potentially Ra's could use some magical ninja chloroform to knock him out, which would give time for Ra's to kill Hugo and Protocol 10 to occur like its original plans. But quickly, this part doesn't really matter that much how Bruce is failing or getting kidnapped, captured, knocked unconscious, whatever.
First one is the thing that boys have to go through. Being chained up all the time or something. Like, what?
The whole point of the video is that Batman just can't do anything for the first part of Protocol 10, or like what Ra's does afterwards. But this leads me directly into my next part. What happens to Hugo Strange? I absolutely still believe Hugo would still be killed by Ra's. But I mean, even if Bruce is taken care of by then, Hugo is still Ra's pawn, and his original plan to kill him, realistically, wouldn't really change all too much. The only way I could potentially see Hugo surviving Wonder Tower would be if he was somehow able to take Bruce hostage. Hugo had no idea that Ra's was going to turn him on. Oh shit. Turn on him, and so either way, I couldn't imagine Hugo making it much farther than the original storyline of the game. But again, it would be very interesting to see, but we'll get more into that later. Anyways, we can hear then the last portion of the game, in Wonder Tower, Ra's saying that Hugo had failed, but in reality, Ra's never wanted Hugo to succeed. And Hugo's correct, I mean, he was really right there at the finish line, but Ra's didn't really care. He purely used Hugo the entirety of the game to get to this point, knowing that he only cared about Batman and that Hugo was never going to be Ra's successor no matter what. Hugo was doomed from the start of it all. What happens to Ras Al Ghul? Ras now has unimaginable power. No more Hugo, and Bruce is out for the count, meaning that Protocol 10 is still commencing, and Ras now has an army under him, comprised of his warriors. But I mean, Tiger itself, this is potentially a bigger problem for Gotham than Scarecrow and his militia, because especially if Ra's utilizes Lazarus Pit for his army, I mean, this would be kind of insane. Ras's plan for Gotham and all of his other renditions across DC media would now finally be able to occur in the Arkham games. Even if Superman or the Flash came to try and help, it would still be a huge and massive battle. Ras would become the most powerful man in the world, all because Bruce failed to stop Protocol 10. The only issue I could see here with his plan would be if Tiger and its guards would actually follow through alongside Ra's, because Ra's goals, like in many other renditions of his character, want to purify Gotham, aka absolutely destroy it. Although Tiger is really quite evil, they are still comprised of real people, and so if they have family in the city or just don't want millions upon millions to die, I imagine it would be tough for Ra's to follow through, unless you'd be able to mentally corrupt them in some way, shape, or form. Which is possible because we've seen a lot of magic that Ra's withholds and is still able to perform. But again, Tiger is seen as the best private military/security army in the world, and to do something like this taking over Gotham City, I really could not imagine them ever doing it because it would obviously ruin their reputation, with no excuse like they had in Arkham City. But what I could see happening potentially is Ra's playing it smart and cool at the beginning, telling Tiger that the GCPD has become extremely corrupt, giving Tiger a small excuse to take over Gotham City with a sort of illegal martial law with an outside company. Now, I'll get a bit more into this later on when I create the next Arkham game that would follow the storyline, which would be so sick. But let's move on. What happens to Arkham City? Well, Arkham City, to be plain with you guys, is absolutely fun. But anyways, yeah, I mean, what more can I say? If Batman's out, Hugo's dead, Ra's will have no issue killing all the inmates because they're not even seen as higher life forms compared to himself. And if nothing changes than what we see in the actual game, and it just kept going, it really just means that the inmates are pretty much all dead in Arkham City, and Arkham City isn't going to be looking the exact same by the time morning rolls around, to say the least. It will be really interesting to see what Ra's ends up doing with this city, whether for some reason he keeps it going, which I highly doubt, or just let it get destroyed alongside the rest of Gotham City. But yeah, that's about it. Arkham City's cooked. What happens to Gotham? Now, similar to Arkham City, if Ra's has the power, then Gotham will most likely be destroyed, unless Bruce is able to escape and get back into the fight. Which would be awesome to see, finally, see Ra's plans for Gotham actually take place, because most of the time Batman is able to stop them. Miagani, Bleak, and Founders Island would all be decimated, killing millions of people in the process. And if Ra's gets his way with Gotham, it will finally be cleansed, and we would get to see how Ra's decides to rebuild or do with Gotham his picture for it. But even if he's able to destroy Gotham, I highly doubt he'd get any farther because at this point, even if Ra's does this extremely quickly, there are a plethora of other superheroes, the US military, and countless others who, in my opinion, would have little trouble putting a stop to Ra's if Bruce still, for some reason, was unable to back out and fight. And I would say the US military would step in at this point, unlike Arkham Knight, because this is a bit bigger of a deal. But to say the least, a ton of destruction and genocide would occur. The next Arkham game. Now, I spoke a lot about this, and man, could an Arkham game where Batman fails to stop Protocol 10 be awesome? But let's go ahead and set the stage. Arkham City has fallen. Hugo Strange is dead. Batman is lost. Nobody can contact or find him. All there is, Ras Al Ghul and his plan to destroy Gotham City. Now, after Arkham City has fallen, there would obviously be an absurd amount of backlash, but Ra's is an elusive force, so most of the blame would probably go on Tiger since Hugo's dead. But Ra's knows this, so a string of grisly murders sparking up around Gotham City in the days following the destruction of Arkham City. But what do they all have in common? Police officers. Ra's pays corrupt officers, which, let's be honest, is not too hard to find in the GCPD force, to perform these attacks, and so Gotham City residents are now afraid of their once protectors. And so Ra's pays Tiger a little visit. Ra's promises to get them out of the hot water that was in Arkham City by convincing them that if they stop the GCPD and hold Gotham City hostage until more reliable officers and background checks are completed, air quotes currently happening, they'll be seen as the good guys once again. Because remember, Tiger is still a business, and businesses need to look good in the public eye, so they agree. And now a full takeover of Gotham City occurs. Tiger and GCPD forces brawling and fighting over territory and turf while Gotham citizens run in fear. But by now, Batman is finally able to come to his senses and escape his encapsulment deep under Arkham City, Wonderland. He's back, and so once Bruce is able to escape, he contacts Alfred, who explains to him the absurdity happening outside and the chaos. So Batman gets to work, saving citizens around the city caught in the fight, while Gordon is able to iron out the situation at hand, asking him what the hell has been happening while he's been out. And so now Jim and Bruce must fight back and protect Gotham City from Tiger and Ra's warriors. And hopefully by the end, we could see something like a huge final race boss battle on top of Wayne Towers, and maybe this alternate universe game could fix a lot of the DLC and side mission issues from Arkham Knight. Like seeing maybe a more fleshed out Hush mission, which I know a lot of us would have loved to see. Now, as well as Hush, all the other villains, in my opinion, would come to help out Gotham and the GCPD, which I know sounds crazy, but I'll talk more about it in the next section. I would also really appreciate if they got rid of the walking and running feature and just used more of the tank. No, just kidding. Arkham Knight haters can click off now, but in all seriousness, I think this would be a really awesome game. Although it's not actually in the Arkham timeline, it would be still really cool in my opinion. And to present Arkham City's story in a way where Bruce finally fails and loses with his most high-stake mission on the line would bring so much more emotion to the game, which Arkham City needed a bit more of. But again, Arkham City is a phenomenal game, so who can really complain? Who would help? Now, this section won't be too long because I talked about this previously in another video, which most of the characters are still really the same. But what I think could happen here is the villains helping out Batman and the superheroes. Let me explain. So even though villains are evil, Gotham is still their home, their territory, how they make money and spread their message. And so I highly doubt they would want Ra's to destroy everything they've built and come to love. Because at this point, it would be pretty obvious as to what Ra's intentions are with his big plans. And so alongside Superman and Flash, I think all the major villains, maybe apart from Harley, who may still be recovering from Joker's death, would come to help. The only issue I would have with this is that it's a little too Lego Batman-ish, in the sense that Arkham, for the most part, is very serious, besides that one time in Arkham Asylum. And the GCPD and Two-Face fighting hand in hand alongside each other may not be the most Arkham thing, but maybe they could work. Also, no shade on Lego Batman. I rewatched it yesterday and man, it's still a top 3 Batman movie ever.
Just.
Yes! My name's Richard Grayson, but all the kids at the orphanage call me Dick.
Well, children can be cruel.
Would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments if you agree. But that's it for today. Sorry for having this video come out so late. I've been traveling a ton and I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind checking out the last video that I just pushed out. It's not doing so hot, but in all seriousness, thank you for watching. Please do let me know your thoughts on this entire reverse timeline / alternate ending. I really would appreciate it. It's definitely something. Also, please do let me know what videos you want to see in the future and if you're really enjoying these what if videos. I'll link the last one below, and lastly, I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind subbing to the channel if you're enjoying this video and some others. And as always, make sure to join up on the Discord. But other than that, thank you for watching. Make sure to stay safe. Glaze John Constantine, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.